Binamandiri, jumpa lagi dalam rangkaian perjalanan Binamandiri keliling Eropa. Sebagai bentuk dukungan Binamandiri terhadap perluasan peta peluang kerja di luar negeri bagi sahabat Binamandiri, pada kesempatan kali ini kami mengajak sahabat Binamandiri untuk mengikuti kilas balik bisnis seminar bertajuk Indonesian Migrant Worker for Croatia yang sukses diadakan oleh Binamandiri pada tanggal 10 November 2022 di Hotel Dubrovnik, Kota Zagreb-Kroasia. Event bisnis seminar Indonesian Migrant Worker for Croatia dibuka dengan sambutan dari Bapak Datu Putra Persada selaku konselor dari Kedutaan Besar Republik Indonesia untuk Kroasia.
My name is Datu Putra Persada. I'm counselor for economic affairs from the Indonesian Embassy here in Zagreb. And first and foremost, I would like to congratulate Mr. Karnata for hosting this important event today, and I also like to thank everybody for taking the time amidst your busy schedule to attend this seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event is very important for us because I think this is the first time that we have the opportunity to really promote the potential of Indonesian workforce. And one of our mission at the embassy is to facilitate the opening of employment opportunities for Indonesian migrant workers in Croatia. With a population of 275 million, roughly, and a labor force participation rate of 70%, Indonesia has an abundance of workforce with diverse skill sets, and this surplus of manpower must be managed expertly so that its immense potential not going to waste. And one of the ways to achieve that objective, the Indonesian government has established a policy of sending Indonesian migrant workers to countries in need. Presently, the majority of our workers reside in Southeast Asia and East Asia and the Middle East. However, Indonesian government has recently begun to consider Europe as the next potential destination, and hopefully Croatia will be one of those destinations in the future. We see that as the Croatian economy grows, so does the demand for workers. However, we noted that supply has not kept in pace with the demand. We have received information about the increasing need for workers in many sectors, such as the hospitality industry. And the Indonesian government plans to assist Croatia in meeting these requirements, and because of this, today's event was held. And we are grateful for Binamandiri for organizing this event. We hope that today's event will provide all of you with the first-hand information about the possibilities and the benefits of engaging Indonesian labor in your respective industries. Directly from the person who has immense experience, I guess around 30 years of experience in this industry, and I hope you can persuade everybody here to take advantage of Indonesian migrant workers whose quality has been well demonstrated in many nations. And in addition, we also hope to learn from you about the foreign market conditions in Croatia, and we will use this information to improve our internal policy, our sending policy, and the quality of Indonesian workers in the future. And yeah, Leslie, I hope that this event runs smoothly and successfully and can significantly contribute to the increase of Indonesian workers' presence in Croatia. Thank you.
Lalu dilanjutkan dengan pemaparan materi dari Bapak Karnaka selaku Direktur Bina Mandiri.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming. And I'm sorry my Croatian language may be not as good as my staff. He might be able to speak, just say hello in Croatia, but I'm not learning. So far, I haven't yet. But I hope I learn more and more Croatian language so we can start collaborate with Croatian company in Croatia. So let's start. So we would like to, our mission here is to promote Indonesian migrant workers to Croatian companies, to Croatian clients, to Croatian employers. Hopefully we can enlarge the number of Indonesian workers in Croatia. So as mentioned by Pak Datu, next. This is Indonesia. So we are inhabitants of 270 or 200 and almost 280 million people. So I was somewhere in Europe. My client asked me, how many people Indonesia have? So I think most of you also never knew Indonesia. You only knew Bali. So Indonesia is a very huge country, very large country, very populated country. We are the fourth populated country in the world. So we are 280 million people of 280 million population. And in Croatia, I was told by Pak Datu, only 170 people, only 3 digit, 170 people out of 280 million people. So we still have a lot of people to support the Europe economy, because I noticed that the demand is quite high in Europe and also of course Croatia. And out of 280 million, 60 or 70% of them are workforce 18 to 55, which is the workforce age of Indonesia. And the average age of those 280 is 30 years old. So very still young of people that we have. So we are mostly our young generation. As we know that the whole world is getting older because there's a lot of old people. Indonesian is getting younger. Every year we produce 5 million babies. Every year, 5 million babies we produce. We are baby producing country. So basically, if I think Croatia is like 4 million people, I can assign one generation to come here invade Croatia, basically. No, just a joke. So surely we are one of the most option or alternative as a source of manpower. That we can supply to many countries where they are getting old, like Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and mostly Europe country. Next. So why Indonesia? Since 1980s, we already sent people to all over the world. Malaysia now is depending from Indonesia. We have 2 million people in Malaysia to support their construction, factory, palm oil plantation. Middle East also we send. We have a lot of engineers for oil and gas. We have a lot of nurses in Middle East and in Malaysia. And now we have to start to explore more because we are getting more and more babies coming in and more young generation that need works. Because we only have like 5% growth, and this 5% growth only cover like half of the population that come in the workforce. So we need the half, 2.5 million to go out to find a work. So that's why we are going to spend promotion. Indonesia also happy people, always smile. Maybe His Excellency previously was in Indonesia, know how Indonesian people like to smile, happy, and we are not really afraid of hard working. We like to work hard, we like to spend long times in some countries to work, but we are not settler, so we don't want to interfere the current culture in that country. So once we finish the contract, we want to go home, or we continue the contract and then we will go home. That's the typical of Indonesia. So sometimes it consider weakness because we are not long-term people, but in some culture consider it's not a weakness. It doesn't. Indonesia doesn't want to involve or make a new culture in certain country. But again, we certainly want to work long terms, more years, new contract, but we still want to see our family back home as well. Okay, and the best of that, we have Croatian embassy in Jakarta. This is one of the best things that happen in Indonesia. We are not like Philippines that they have to fly over to Indonesia. We are not like Nepal that they have to fly to India. We have kind of full set of European country in Indonesia. We have just missed Slovenia, Malta, and Lithuania. So other that we can make the visa. And Croatia is available in Jakarta. So if you want to hire an Indonesian migrant worker, we just take the bus, we just take the train, and we can get the visa. No need to come and get the visa and then wait in Indonesia for 14 days without nothing. That's the beauty of Indonesia. Next. And unfortunately, we are not English-speaking country, not like Philippines, but it is not an obstacle or difficulty. We call it a challenge. This is not a difficulty, but a challenge for us. Surely, people who come here have to be able to speak English. Minimum a basic English that they can communicate in basic communication. Like they have to go to the market, like they have to communicate with the supervisor. They need to understand, even though they are not as fluent as the Philippines, but we can speak English better than Vietnamese, better than Thailand. Indonesia also quite far away. This is also our weakness. Sometimes ago, before the war, the Ukraine can come here by bus, but we have to fly. Yesterday, on Saturday, I fly 18 hours to Vienna. So it takes long hours flight just to come to Europe. Different with if the Ukraine, they can just take a bus. That's our challenge, not difficulty, not an obstacle, but our challenge means that we can strive the challenge. Next. So this is the conclusion. As we know, Europe is in demand of people. The east side, people are flying to the west side for better salary. The Scandinavia also fly to the west side for warmer climate. And then the Baltic fly to the Scandinavia and they are getting cold and then they go to the west area. And then South also fly to the west area. And then the Ukraine just come for 6 months in Poland and then suddenly in Germany. So basically there's a lot of demands. And we have a lot of people to filling all the gaps so that we can all run the economy. So with the people of Indonesia coming to Croatia, it's not just not just in the economical side, but it is also tighten the relationship in socially, culturally, maybe food, in gastronomy. So we can try Indonesian food when the people of Indonesia come. A lot of people coming here and they start to open our restaurant here. So you can taste how spicy our food is. Not just Indian spicy, but Indonesia is more spicy than in India. Next. So why Binamandiri? Of course, my company is number one. I say that my ketchup is number one. So I always promote my company is number one. We have been 37 years in the business of recruitment. We send people in 26 countries from Canada to New Zealand. In various industries that we have sent people there. So this is the country that we send. This is the sector that we have sent. We send in hotel, cafe, restaurant, IT, engineer, oil and gas, and then agriculture, manufacturing, airline, logistic, warehouse, and many things. In cruise line also, offshore also, we send people there in various industry. This is our country of placement. Next. So we've been to Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Czech Republic, Romania, Croatia. We just have demand for Baltazar restaurant for chef, and then we send people to Asia. Next. So Qatar, Bahrain, the 6 GCC country. And then there is Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, Singapore, Malaysia, and Brunei. This is the Southeast Asia. Next. Africa, we send to Seychelles, Djibouti, and Nigeria. Currently, we are recruiting for oil and gas people for one of the biggest Nigeria petrochemical refinery. So for this past, for this past 2 weeks, we've been interview almost like 600 people. So every day we interview people by Zoom for our Nigeria client. Next. And Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. New Zealand is now getting high. The demand is getting high because they were like 2 years in lockdown, totally lockdown. And start from 1st August, they start open the door open widely. And we have sent people to New Zealand like 25 kitchen staff. So from commis chef, demi chef, CDP to sous chef. That's the maximum, because for chef it's quite difficult to get a visa. And next, so this is what we can place. We can place the permanent one, and then mostly will be temporary, and then there's seasonal and internship. Actually, seasonal and internship almost the same. Internships, what I was referring for internship was people who have trained in a hotel school, and then they would like to go here for 6 months for summer works in a hotel. I know Croatia is famous with the hospitality. We can send all the internship candidates or staff from this hotel school. So they're still young, they are have the knowledge, have the training, and they just need the practical, and they can practice here in Croatia. But the seasonal, it means that they are more mature people, like doing maybe picking and picking fruits in agriculture, because this is seasonal, and these are more mature people, 30 above. By the internship, more young people. This is what we are differentiate. Next. And this is the process. So first, we would like to ask the company to send us the demand with details. What do you want? Okay, I need hotel staff, housekeeping, like the numbers is 20, and they need to have like 2 years minimum experience. The salary will be this much, and this is the benefit, blah, 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 blah. From that demand, we will start resourcing the appropriate candidate, and we start giving all the offer, whether they are like it or not. And then from there, it takes about 5 to 14 days to get the people. It's easier for me to get the waiters for 5 days, but it will be difficult for me to get the teppanyaki chef, because it's very, very unique chef. Need to can cook in front of the guests and juggle. And then once it finished, we will send the profile to the client or to you, and you will do the interview from that. And then if you're happy, then you will send the offer letter to the candidates, and if they accept, they will sign, and we will start the process. The first process, Croatia is considered not so difficult to process. From our side, we will just send you the apostille police letter. And now we have apostille system. Previously, we have to go to the embassy of Croatia in Jakarta, but now we don't need this process anymore. We have the apostille system. Once we get the police letter, we apostille, we send to you, and you will arrange for the work permit. for the process of the police letter to apostille takes about 14 days. And then after we receive the work permit, then we will assign the applicants to get the visa at the Croatian embassy, roughly about the same 14 to maybe 30 days, more or less, because we need to schedule them first. But once we have the visa in hand, it takes us about 3 to 7 days to deploy them to Croatia. So it's just to find appropriate, reasonable price for the ticket. Next. So that's the process. Next. And this is some of our clients. So we send to McDonald's, we send to W Hotel, Wyndham Hotel, Aramco, ADNOC. We send to Carnival Cruise, Best Western Area, Movenpick. Yeah, we have a lot of clients that I'm not remember all. So that's some of our clients. Next. This is the opening of Sumatra restaurant in Dunajska Streda in Slovakia. So we have cooperated with Ms. Tihamer for 12 years. We're sending our therapists, chef, housekeeping, waiter, and last April we were invited to open the first Indonesian restaurant in Slovakia. And all of the staff from Indonesia come from my company. And all the chefs also come from our company. So this is the first Indonesian restaurant in Slovakia. Next. This is our candidates all over the world. So basically this one in Romania, this one is in Sulecao Garden Bistro, and this one is a sushi chef in Cyprus. Next. This one, our candidate in Poland, they are working in a manufacturing. I forgot what kind of manufacturing because we have too many people flying there. Next. This is our children caregiver. She worked in Romania with twins. Next. This is Sunawi, and this is the dairy milkers, the dairy farmers. We send dairy farmers to New Zealand. So before COVID, we have been sent about 120 people of dairy farmers to New Zealand. Next. This one is our chef. I forgot the name. He just fly back because during COVID he go back and he just fly back to New Zealand. And then this also our chef in Romania in one of the hotel. Next. This one is a crane operator in Seychelles port in the coast of Africa. This one is stevedoring people. They also work in the Seychelles port. They are lifting this kind of tuna, so bigger than the person itself. Yeah. So I don't know how can he carry bigger fish than himself. I don't know. It's an amazing thing. Next. This is our caregiver in Canada. So they are working as PSW, personal support worker. So they will go door to door to the to the elderly home, giving the medicine, checking the IV, the blood pressure, something like that. So they are learning about PSW when they are in Canada. Next. This is when we have tests for welders and fitters. We are sending those people working in Chris shipyard in Gdansk on the north of Poland. Next. This is the people who work in fast food industry, in McDonald's, in Referee, and I think I forgot this company name. It's a Middle Eastern restaurant. So we also send people for fast food industry, not just Middle East. We also send McDonald's in Poland. Next. This is the caregiver working in Taiwan, working with elderly care. So mostly people who are we sending to Taiwan is working in the elderly care center. So they are taking care of the elderly, and we are starting to send these people from Taiwan to Europe. Next. This is the interview for flight attendant. There were about 300 flight attendants coming for interview. Start from 8 o'clock in the morning and finish at 2 a.m. in the morning. The whole day must finish. And we strive to wake up because they are so beautiful. So beautiful girls, so we don't take a sleep. Our eyes keep younger and younger. And next, and they are selected in Oman Air. This is the selected flight attendant after they have take the training in Oman. Next, this is in Wyndham Hotel, and then this in Kuwait Cinema. This is our driver in Qatar. So we send driver for the tanker for the oil and gas company. So they are working in Qatar Chemical. They already understand how to deal with dangerous or hazardous fluid, and tanker with the tipper, tanker with the joint. So they are well known. They know how to do it. We send many driver there in Qatar. And this is our spa therapist in Hungary. Her name is Ayu, if not mistaken. And after 6 months, after 6 years, he married with the owner. Next. This is our engineers. We send engineers in. This is in Kuwait. This is in Oman Gas, and this is in Orpik, Oman Refinery. This gentleman is Vietnamese. We don't just recruit Indonesia. We also recruit Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, not Philippines, unless the Philippines is outside the Philippines. And then we also send people from Poland to Middle East. This one is from Malaysia. So we also recruit Malaysia engineers go to Middle East. Next. This one was the recruitment for doctor and nurses for the offshore. They are working offshore at Abu Dhabi, on the coast of the Dubai for the offshore. Next. This is the candidates that work in Oria Hotel in Czech Republic, and we working with the Manpower Group at that time. Unfortunately, we don't continue because the law in Czech Republic was dismissed or minimized the number of Indonesia from no quota to 65 in a year. So it's not really feasible for us to do cooperation again to send people to Czech Republic. But they are working before the law. So we managed to send about 20 people to Oria Hotel in Czech Republic. Next. This is our recruitment campaign for cruise line. It was attended by almost 1,000 people for the cruise line. So we set up in 5 cities all over Indonesia, because Indonesia is archipelago, which is very wide. We have the longest coast in the world. If we put our end to Lisbon, the next end will be in Moscow. That is how wide is Indonesia, and we are island. We need to fly. So that's why we are doing in a big city in Indonesia, all over Indonesia, so that we can get more people. Next. This is the recruitment for airport for Emirates, and they are working in Erbil, Iraq, for the Emirates airport. Next. This is recently. We sent driver for Qatar FIFA World Cup. I know Croatia was the runner-up from last World Cup. Hopefully you will be number 1. Hopefully, yeah. We go for Croatia. So we send people for short term. This is short term, 3 months only contract for the World Cup. And when we are flying to Vienna, at the same time we are sending our firefighter. So this is our firefighter for Qatar Gas. 17 firefighter we send when we are flying to Vienna. Next. And this is one of our achievements. This is I forgot the name. He won the competition of barista. So Kingdom of Saudi have competition of barista, and I'm happy that he won the second place from all barista in Kingdom of Saudi. And that's why we are quite proud, and we put the photo on our wall in our office. Next. So besides that we are a recruitment company, we also have the job portal. The job portal allows you to post the opening on our website, and the candidate can directly work with you. It will be launched on the 1st of January. So the candidate can apply directly to you without our interfere. You just need to pay a small amount to post your jobs, and they can directly liaise with you. But if you want to use our service, certainly we will have the service fee for that to the candidates, not to you. So everything that happens in Indonesia is borne by the candidates. So this is our job portal that we allow everyone in the world just to post, and they can directly deal with the candidates and offer letter everything directly with the candidates. Next. And this is our new recognized from our client in New Zealand. You see the date is 8th November, and I sent about 15, I think. Yeah, 15 chef, not chef, but from CDB below to New Zealand. And I don't need to promote myself, yeah, even though I always not say I'm number one. But this talk by itself. But my clients are happy with our candidates who fly to New Zealand, and they would like to ask more for the Italian cuisine. And we are start to recruit for Italian now, for Italian restaurant in New Zealand. So this is just recent, 8th November. I don't need to edit or make anything. You can check support group, Joanna Cook, you can see all the detail there. Okay, I think that's all. This is our social media, you can check also. And I think that's all from me. I would like to thank you very much for listening to me, and we will continue with Q&A. So hopefully you have many questions for me, so I can answer all your questions, and you will be satisfied with the first-hand information how to bring the Indonesian worker to Croatia.
Dan disambung sesi tanya jawab untuk peserta seminar.
The people coming from Indonesia are spending abroad.
The minimum time, okay.
The minimum period, yeah.
Inside Indonesia, they are more happy there rather than they go back to Indonesia. But they still want to go back to Indonesia to see their family, relative, probably just about 2-3 months, and then they will return back. But in average, people would like to spend in overseas about 6 years. This is the average that I understand.
Workers with airline tickets, or are they paying themselves?
Everything that happens in Indonesia is covered by the candidates, including the airline ticket.
Di penghujung acara diisi oleh Bapak Drazen Margeta, mantan Duta Besar Kroasia untuk Indonesia.
Please sir, have a...
Definitely, I'm former ambassador of Croatia to Indonesia since 2013 to 2019, and whatever it was already said by the embassy staff, by Mr. Prasada, actually, and also
Mr. Karnaka, sir.
Mr. Karnaka, of course, I can assure you it's true. This is, I would say, I have more than 30 years experience in foreign affairs, and Indonesia is definitely on the top of all countries I visited. And those countries are mainly Asian countries like China, India, then I was in Egypt also, and Indonesia. And really, you wouldn't regret if you get Indonesian workers here. They're very honest people. They smile all the time, which is a beautiful thing. And this is a genuine smile. that you can really get there. Other places, I usually call it the protocol smile. People just smile at you and then their face become serious again. But it's a very genuine smile in Indonesia. So me personally, of course, I do have some feelings for the country, definitely, since I was living there for almost 6 years. But I can assure you that if you get Indonesian workers here, that they are really honest, they are really nice people, they are hardworking people, and maybe construction business is a little bit problematic.
Yes.
But I would say hospitality business, getting let's say bartenders, sommeliers, waiters, or maybe IT business as well. So Jakarta is actually, I would say, the world leader talking about people using their gadgets. Why is that? Jakarta is a huge place. If you go by your car from point A to point B, it takes hours in that city. One day it happened to me, I lived like 10 kilometers away from my office, and that day it was a flooding, and I spent 4 hours and 20 minutes in my car just crossing 10 kilometers. So if you don't have your mobile, if you're not connected to social media, you just waste your time. So basically, you know, you're always looking at your gadget, and you even forget about the time that was passed while you were sitting in the car. So this is my recommendation, and thank you very much. I'm very sorry, I saw that your company is located in Malang.
Yeah, because we don't want to have the same flood with you, sir. Yeah, so we avoid the flood, sir.
Yeah. No, the thing I just wanted to share with our Croatian colleagues here, the problem that in football,
Yeah.
that happened in Malang.
Yeah, in Malang.
This was very, very tragic event, actually.
Thank you.
135 people.
Yes, correct. And
died.
today is 40 days, sir.
Yeah, on the one of the football event, and this was the second biggest tragic event in the history. The first one was in Peru, long time back. There were 360 or something people. And so my sympathies
Thank you, sir.
to the families
Thank you, sir.
of the victims.
Yes.
And hopefully FIFA will do good job now.
Yep.
And they already in the country.
Yes.
And they assured your president that the World Cup under 20 is going to go.
Yep.
So this is a good sign. Well, anyhow, I don't want to take more
Yeah.
of your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Yes,
All
thank you,
the
sir.
best. Thank
Here goes, ladies and gentlemen. A high-level endorsement. A high-level endorsement. You don't need to worry again. Yeah. So I can assure you, sir.
Good afternoon, Sahabat Binamandiri. Right now we are with Mr. Drazen Magerza, a former of Croatian ambassador for Indonesia. How do you feel today, Mr. Drazen?
Feel great actually. Any day when there is a Indonesian part of my day, I'm enjoying it.
Okay, thank you so much. And then, do you have any question? Do you have anything to say to the Indonesian people? For maybe. Would you like to say?
Yeah, sure. I lived in Jakarta and I visited basically all big islands in Indonesia, coming from Sumatra, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Papua, Bali, Java, and I really enjoyed my life in Jakarta. I stayed there for 6 years in total, working as the ambassador in Croatian embassy in Jakarta, and I met so many beautiful Indonesian people. I'm happy to share with you my emotions about Indonesian people who have really genuine smiles, people who are really lovely people, who really are helping people, and this is something that I really miss a lot since I left Indonesia.
Okay, maybe you need some time going to Indonesia again, Mr. Drazen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, what is your hope for Indonesian people? Because in this collaboration between Indonesia and Croatia, what is your hope?
Yes, I think that, as I just mentioned, the Indonesians are very genuine, hardworking people, and I believe that coming here to Croatia, they will really find same kind of people actually as a host. and I believe that they would be enjoying their time here while working, while earning money, while sending money to the families back home, and especially, you know, there is your big talent, let's say, in hospitality business, because you are kind people, you are people who smile, who genuinely smile, and this is something what is needed in that business here.
All right, Mr. Drazen, thank you so much for your time. I really wish you a best luck and have a nice day, Mr.
I wish you all the best.
Okay.
Demikian rangkaian acara bisnis seminar Indonesian Migrant Worker for Croatia 2022.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi sahabat Binamandiri. Alhamdulillah, kita baru saja selesai mengadakan seminar Indonesian Migrant Worker for Croatia. Dan seminar kali ini dihadiri oleh 32 orang partisipan dari berbagai perusahaan agen tenaga kerja di Kroasia. Selain itu juga dihadiri oleh Duta Besar Kroasia sebelumnya yang bertugas di Indonesia hingga tahun 2020. Dan kita mendapat endorse luar biasa tentang Indonesia bagi peserta seminar. Nantikan kita seminar di Finlandia, di Helsinki, hari Senin. Sampai jumpa, be a smart worker for a better future.
Nah, peluang kerja di Kroasia masih terbuka lebar bagi sahabat Binamandiri yang memiliki impian meraih sukses di negeri Fatreni. Terima kasih untuk Mitra Kerja dan sahabat Binamandiri yang telah berpartisipasi untuk mensukseskan bisnis seminar Indonesian Migrant Worker for Croatia. Sampai jumpa di lain kesempatan. Be a smart worker for a better future.